Have you ever noticed how society makes this really quick, honestly kind of harsh assumption about people who spend most of their time alone? Like, the prevailing narrative out there is that if you have few friends, or even no friends, you must be broken. You must be antisocial or somehow failing at the basic unwritten rules of human connection. Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today, I want you to think of me as a supportive guide, maybe almost like a compassionate therapist, sitting down with you to help you understand that your isolation, it isn't a symptom of something being wrong with you. Actually, it's a sign that your psychological blueprint is just built differently. You are not broken, and I really want to validate that for you right out of the gate. So we have to ask, are you actually antisocial? Or does your brain just, operate completely differently? It is absolutely vital that we reframe this immediately. Long stretches without friends often have very real, deeply rooted psychological causes, not personal shortcomings. The field of psychology actually suggests that people with few friends are just deeply misunderstood. Typical social life can literally be exhausting for certain types of nervous systems. Your mind simply operates in a way that makes typical surface-level interactions feel draining and, frankly, emotionally unnecessary. To really map out your inner world, today we're going to move through 6 key areas: the myth of isolation, rejecting the social mask, the need for depth, your sensitive nervous system, the high trust threshold, and finally, the power in solitude. Let's dive right into Section 1, the myth of isolation, reevaluating social expectations. Society loves to push this myth, right? That being alone means you are fundamentally broken and antisocial. But psychology tells us a very, very different reality. Your solitude is actually a profound form of emotional self-regulation. Your mind just values depth, clarity, and peace way more than it values constant social stimulation. If you've walked through life with few friendships, it's not because you're failing at being a human, it's because your mind is quietly doing its job, protecting your nervous system from environments that just don't serve it anymore. Moving to Section 2, rejecting the social mask. This brings us to trait number 1, having zero tolerance for fake people. As your self-awareness rises, your tolerance for surface-level behavior absolutely plummets. Think about that classic office water cooler chat, where you're forced to pretend you care deeply about a coworker's painfully mundane weekend plans, all while navigating these settled office politics. For you, that isn't just boring, it's literally exhausting. Your brain is actively working overtime to filter out gossip, manipulation, social masks, and those purely performative conversations. In scenarios where you feel pressured to participate in those social masks, you're usually the one who senses hidden motives long before anyone else does. This isn't you being antisocial. This is a highly practical habit of your nervous system, guarding your inner peace from emotional noise. Honestly, you'd much rather sit alone in silence than endure a conversation that feels like a poorly rehearsed play. I really want you to internalize this. You keep your circle small because your well-being matters more than social performance. What a powerful reframe, right? Authenticity is not optional for you. It is the absolute baseline foundation for any real connection. You aren't actively avoiding people. You're just prioritizing your psychological health over putting on a show. All right, Section 3, the need for depth, which ties perfectly into trait 2, preferring depth over quantity. See, you aren't avoiding relationships. You are just avoiding shallow ones entirely. A 20-minute conversation about the weather or neighborhood gossip, it feels like stepping into an empty puddle, just draining and totally devoid of meaning. When a topic offers no real weight, no curiosity, your brain just instinctively disengages. But a truly nourishing connection, exploring someone's psychology, their deep intentions, what gives them purpose in life, oh, that is where your brain takes root and thrives. You stay solitary until someone appears who can match your clarity and your inner depth simply because you would rather be alone than sit in a conversation where nobody is truly listening. Let's look at Section 4, your sensitive nervous system, and trait 3, which is needing a longer social recovery. In clinical psychology, high social sensitivity is a recognized, well-documented trait. It means your brain actually possesses a deeper emotional perception, processing vastly more information simultaneously during any given interaction. And I want to validate this for you. It does not mean you dislike people. It just means that every single interaction costs you significantly more mental energy, simply because of the sheer volume of data your brain is analyzing in real time. During even a simple chat, your nervous system is effortlessly absorbing a massive amount of subconscious data. You're picking up on tiny tone shifts, fleeting microexpressions, and subtle emotional cues that fly right under the radar for almost everyone else. You're basically analyzing interactions on multiple layered levels all at once. Now, it's an incredible superpower for sure, but it seriously impacts your sensitive nervous system by burning through a tremendous amount of your mental fuel. Here's the difference. Extroverts gain energy from the crowd. They are recharged by company. But for you, emotional energy is a finite resource. When you have to navigate an unavoidable social event, you actually need a step-by-step recharge plan. Step 1, you exit the stimulation. Step 2, you seek out complete physical and auditory stillness. And finally, step 3, you allow your brain the solitary time it takes to fully restore your neurological balance. Solitude isn't you hiding away. It's your biological recovery step. It's the necessary, healthy mechanism your brain uses to return to baseline clarity. Section 5. The power of independence. Trait 4. Low social dependency. According to psychology, low social dependency is a pretty rare trait, and it's linked to profound inner stability. You don't rely on constant external social validation to feel valuable or confident. Your own thoughts, your daily routines, your rich inner world, they provide the grounding that others often desperately seek out in a crowd. Now, to people who depend heavily on that external stimulation, this independence might look a little distant. But while others are out there collecting a million acquaintances, you are carefully protecting your inner sanctuary. If you're meeting someone new, you can totally frame this boundary as a strength. You can simply tell them, hey, I keep my circle really small because I prefer to give my full, grounded self to the few connections I deeply value. It's not cold at all. It's just an incredibly focused, intentional way to live. Section 6. The high trust threshold. This is trait 5, being extremely cautious with trust. A lot of people with few friends share a very common thread. If you've experienced betrayal, neglect, or emotional inconsistency in your past, I want you to know that your mind naturally built a high trust threshold to protect you. Psychology shows that once trust is deeply broken, the brain defaults to a new setting, requiring others to be observed and tested before granting emotional access again. You aren't being baselessly suspicious. You just observe longer, you listen more closely, and you think carefully before opening up. This caution isn't a weakness. It is a profound form of self-respect, a strong boundary learned purely through survival. Finally, Section 7, the power in solitude, embracing your inner architecture. Let's pull all of this together. The reality of your mind is one of incredible depth, awareness, and emotional precision. You notice motives and energies long before they become obvious to anyone else. You carry a much sharper intuition, a richer inner world, and vastly higher standards for genuine connection. These aren't quirks that need to be fixed. They are incredible strengths. Walking alone for a while isn't a failure. It's a purposeful journey toward people who are genuinely authentic. Sometimes, the strongest minds just have to travel quietly until they finally find their true peers. Remember this, okay? Your solitude is not a flaw. It is the landscape where your clarity grows. Please, do not rush to change who you are, just to fit into a society that doesn't quite understand your depth yet. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Will you stop rushing to change who you are and instead embrace the beautiful, complex architecture of your inner world? Understand that your mind is doing exactly what it needs to do to keep you safe, clear, and authentic. Honor those boundaries, trust that sharp intuition of yours, and know that your quiet path is built on incredible strength. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.